So, for my presentation, I'm going to talk to you about the real world of modeling and show you inside experiences I have been so blessed to have had these 2.5 years. So here's some background information about Swish Model Management. As said on their website, Swish is owned and operated by all former world-renowned models. Swish is the agency created by models for models. It has some of the highest standards of model development and management. Swish provides training and development at no cost at all to the model. Their focus is on each individual, and they maximize their potential in a healthy, safe, and empowering environment. They have strong connections worldwide. Swish has many of their models working successfully around the globe. Swish's success and the model's success is all thanks to the people behind the name. First off, there is a man by the name of Lakan Tijani. He knows everything there is to know about fashion. He always keeps up with the latest trends and designs and always knows what's in. He is one of the hardest workers I know. Lakan is a booker for Swish, meaning that he is the one who books the models' jobs. Lakan runs the social media aspect for Swish. Social media is very important in the modeling industry, as it is such an easy way to promote models and get their name and pictures out there. He runs Swish a Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and blogs for them as well. He also takes digital Polaroids of the models, which are pictures agencies send to other agencies that are potentially interested in the model. They are very natural looking pictures, where the model wears form-fitting clothing to show what their body really looks like. I treasure my friendship with Lakan because he never fails to make me laugh and makes work fun. Plus, not to mention, has the greatest fashion sense. Next, there is Liz Crawford. She is like a second mom to me. She is the one that keeps everything running smoothly. I would describe Liz as a gladiator in stilettos. With careers as a movie actress, fashion stylist, event planner, fashion show producer, freelance journalist, and international model, Liz Crawford's experiences have been far from what one would call ordinary. In 2007, Liz founded Swish Productions, using her knowledge and expertise in public relations and fashion to open Winnipeg's only full-service fashion marketing and public relations firm. As a former model, Liz passionately advocates for laws and education to provide a safer environment for young models, working currently international. In 2007, with Liz on the issue, the media immediately embraced it, splashing it all over the news, getting international attention. Liz was then invited to speak in Ottawa at the House of Commons, and in 2008, those long-awaited laws were passed. On top of all of this, Liz has raised two amazing kids that I feel blessed to know. Her youngest son, Malachi, has a rare disease called Hirschsprung's disease, which is caused by lower intestinal blockage in the newborn and infancy period of a child. It is basically chronic constipation. Liz has worked with doctors all over the world trying to find a cure for this painful disease. Plus, just this year, she has been nominated for the 2015 Woman of Distinction Award, and personally, I couldn't think of a more deserving person to win the award. There are two other girls who have worked at the agency while I've been with Swish. First off, there is Sarah Jordan. She is the one who led runway workshops before the model search, but I'll get into that later. She was the first person at Swish that I really got to know. Sarah knows what it's like to be in the industry at such a young age, so she really connects with the models that she teaches, including myself, because she used to be in our shoes. She started modeling in her teens, just like I did. Sarah was a very successful model, walking for the likes of worldwide known designers and graced the pages of magazines all over the world. Sarah doesn't work at Swish anymore, and now has two children. She is now a teacher, so I don't get to see Sarah as much as I would like to. Next is Kelly Miller. Kelly was also a model when she was a child, and continues to model today at 30 years old. Kelly has also been very successful in the modeling industry and has traveled all over the world to model. Kelly now owns a jewelry company called Sugar Blossom Design, where she designs unique and funky jewelry. She is amazing at what she does, and Sugar Blossom has appeared in many magazines, including Vogue, and has appeared on many television shows. So why do I model? And so, you are probably wondering why I would want to get involved in such a crazy and competitive industry. There are many reasons for this. Firstly, I like a challenge. This industry waits for no one, so the thought that hundreds of girls who are just like me that could do the same job makes me constantly work my hardest and strive to be my best personal self. I have also met some of the most amazing people because of the career I have chosen. So many lifelong friends have been made. I also love being in front of the camera and walking the runway as well. It's nice once in a while to be the center of attention. I have also become very close with my agents as well. Swish is a family, which is why I'm so lucky to be involved with this agency. You don't get that sense of love in every agency, but with Swish, it's very apparent. So here's how I got my start with Swish. It was September of 2012. I had just started grade 10. It was a typical day until I got a message that would change my life. A girl named Morgan messaged me and asked if I had ever considered modeling. She was a model for Swish and another small town girl. To be honest, I had never really considered it because simply I didn't think I had what it took. I don't know what I was thinking, but I guess I felt like I had nothing to lose because I told her I'd give it a shot. Swish Model Management, a modeling agency in Winnipeg, was having a model search. I had sent in some pictures of myself and quite frankly did not expect to hear back from them. Surprisingly, I did, and I was a finalist, and I couldn't be more excited. I remember the first time I walked through those agency doors. It just seems like yesterday. I was so nervous I could barely walk though. But they all made me feel as if we'd been friends for years. They took some pictures of me that day and told me about what their agency and the industry was like. The show was in 2 weeks, so I came back into the city every Tuesday and Thursday for those 2 weeks for runway training, as a runway show was how the scouts and agents would crown the winner. The day of the search had come, and I was so nervous I thought I was going to be sick. We had 4 different runway shows that day, and the last show was the one that really mattered. That was the show that scouts from Toronto, Tokyo, and New York City would be there to watch and scout potential models for their agencies. To be honest, at that point, I wasn't looking to be scouted to an international agency. I was just looking not to trip in the heels I had to wear and fall flat on my face. As if this wasn't all intimidating and terrifying enough, the runway was set up in the center of the mall, so that there was a huge audience. The shows went well, and for the first time I had a small glimmer of hope that I could actually win the whole thing. Once it was time for the MC to announce the winners, I remember looking down at my hands, and I've never seen them shake so much before. First they called third runner-up, then second, then first. My friends Mikkel, Kiera, Vanessa, and Taylor had won these awards. All there was left to announce was the winner. There were still 16 girls who hadn't received an award. Finally, the announcer said the winner, and I almost started to cry. It was me. I was the winner out of almost 200 applicants. Swish seemed potential in me that I had failed to see in myself for so long. Thinking back to this moment still gives me goosebumps. The rest of the day was a whirlwind. After the search, we immediately headed to the agency to meet with the scouts. After this, I was invited to Liz's house for a model party, where all of the Swish models and scouts were there. I was very intimidated and have never felt so out of place, as this was all so new to me. It was a lot to learn in so little time, but this experience taught me so much more than how to model. It taught me self-confidence, how to talk to people, and how to express myself. I have come a long way since 2.5 years ago. I had very little confidence then. It shows from my first photo shoot to my most recent one. The same goes for runway. Practice is honestly the best for a model. 6 months later, in March of 2013, was the trip of a lifetime. I was asked to go to New York to visit an agency that was apparently very interested in me and have 2 photo shoots done as well. I couldn't believe that I was going to be living every model's dream. New York City is the place to be for modeling. I was so excited and not to mention terrified, but of course I agreed to go. My mom and my twin sister came with me, along with Liz, Kelly, and Sarah. A fellow model friend, Taylor, and her mom came with us as well. Every model dreams of coming to the city, so I definitely felt extremely thankful. We spent 4 days in New York City. Sorry about this cold. One of the days was spent visiting DNA Model Management, the agency that had expressed interest in me. DNA is one of the most successful modeling agencies in the world and has produced some of the most famous supermodels of all time. I met with 3 agents in there. It was also intimidating for someone like me who was so new to the business and the industry. The office was so beautiful. I remember looking at a wall full of headshots of girls and hoping that one day my face would be up on that wall too. The meeting went well and made me excited for what was to come in the future. Another day in New York City was spent having a photo shoot with the one and only Robert Grima. He was the photographer who shot the Victoria's Secret Christmas campaign commercial in 2013. It was an honor to shoot with him. He was as talented as he was friendly. I had an absolute blast working with him. Robert was originally from Australia, so it was really interesting learning his stories. Another day was spent shooting with William Lords. The shoot's location was in Brooklyn, so it was interesting to travel to a completely different part of the city. I found William Lords to be very intimidating, which made it harder to relax in front of the camera. He produces some of the most beautiful pictures that I've ever seen. He really knows how to capture people at their best angles. It was a great experience shooting with him because he forced me to go outside my comfort zone and push myself in order to get great photographs. In our free time, we spent exploring the city. We visited the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. This was such a cool place, and it was so much fun to pose with all of the figurines, who looked scarily human-like. We ate at the most amazing restaurants as well, like the Hard Rock Cafe and Planet Hollywood, which was filled with memorabilia from famous movies, television shows, and music sensations. Times Square was also visited. I really loved it there. There were so many different things to look at once. It's shocking going from a small town to such a big city. We also got to visit Central Park, which is even more amazing than all of the movies show it to be, along with the famous Fifth Avenue. All in all, New York was an amazing trip of a lifetime that I will never forget. Swish has trained and produced models that have traveled across the globe to places such as New York City, London, Paris, Milan, New Zealand, Tokyo, and Shanghai. Swish's most well-known model is a girl by the name of Megan Waller. She was one of Swish's first models. She went on the short-lived reality series Canada's Next Top Model and ended up winning the whole show. Since then, she has been living in New York City and taking the city by storm. She has become very successful and has made quite a name for herself. Photographers love to shoot with her because of how natural she moves in front of the camera. She makes her job a lot easier. She has walked in many fashion weeks for designers such as Jay Mendel, Marissa Webb, and Christian Serrano. There are 2 brands of modeling, commercial and editorial. Commercial modeling consists mainly of advertisements and television commercials. Commercial models look more like the girl next door. Your average pretty girl who people relate to so companies can sell their products. Editorial, on the other hand, is for models with an edgy or interesting look. I fit under this category because of my height and my look. Editorial models work with quirky designers and star in abstract ad campaigns for high fashion designers and runway shows that are like no other. Fashion Week kicks off in New York City 2 times a year. Every model's dream, including my own, is to walk for designers in Fashion Week. Fashion Week takes months of preparation for not only the models, but everyone from makeup artists and designers, photographers, to set designers. To get casted in a runway show, you must attend a casting. A casting is like a tryout or a job interview for a very specific job. Castings can last hours. Then, if you are one of the lucky models that gets a job, your work isn't done yet. They must attend fittings where the designer tries to figure out what clothes would look best on certain models, so that their show can best showcase their designs. Runway shows not only showcase a designer's hard work, it also promotes models and can help get their name out. Many models can thank Fashion Week for their successful careers. The most successful models I know are the ones who work the hardest. Most of the top supermodels of the world started out just like me, at the very bottom, and had to work hard to get to where they are today. These are the models that I have the most respect for. I also have a lot of respect and love for models who do something positive for the world with their fame. For instance, Candice Swanepoel, the infamous Victoria's Secret model, designed a label of jeans for the charity Mothers to Mothers, which is a non-profit organization based out of South Africa that works to prevent the transition of HIV from mothers to their babies. Every day of work is different when you're a model, and the ones who embrace this fact are the ones that succeed. the ones that will succeed in the industry. The world of fashion waits for no one. As for my favorite designers or brands, I have two. My first is Marc Jacobs because he creates very interesting and unique clothes and has the most stunning ad campaigns. My other favorite is Calvin Klein because their designs are clean cut, classic, and simple. It would be a dream come true to be able to walk on one of their runway shows. My plans for next year are to pursue modeling. I figure that this kind of opportunity only comes around once in a lifetime, so I'm going to try and ride it out as long as possible. Now that I've gotten a taste of what's out there for me, I can't help but have big dreams. There's talk that I might be able to go and model in London this fall. That is the ultimate goal for me. I got the chance to travel to London 2 years ago. It is such a beautiful city. It's full of culture and fashion, two things I love. When modeling is finished for me, or if I happen to decide that it's just not for me, I will attend some sort of post-secondary education. School will always be around for me, but modeling won't. People who don't understand my decision not to go to university next year don't understand my passion for modeling and traveling. Modeling is a way for me to do two things that I love at once. I want to experience the world and get a sense of what's out there.